That's another wrap. Another wrap. Another win for Mercedes, another win for Lewis Hamilton. Turning the screw on Max Verstappen.
You're screwed.
Slowly. When you do it more slowly, it's more painful.
Hell yeah!
Position. Because Max knows. I know he's inept, but he must know now that he's not going to walk away with his title so easy. I think he's probably cancelled #1 on his car for next year. That was his downfall. 3 weeks ago in USA Grand Prix. I think it was USA or Mexico. When he turned around to Martin Brundle and said, if I win the world title, I'm going to put #1 on my car next year. Sitting there all confident in the chair, speaking to Martin Brundle, thinking he's won the title already. No, you haven't. Now reality is kicking in. Let's start with Christian Horner.
Lewis Hamilton's an 8-time world champion.
Christian Horner turns round and says, I respect the stewards. The stewards make the right decisions. They're a credit to F1. Yeah. A credit to F1 when it's going your way. But when it's not going your way, like today, you start throwing abuse at the stewards, calling them incompetent. They're a disgrace to F1. Then you get yourself reprimanded. You have to go to the stewards and they give you a nice little warning to say, calm the fuck down. It's funny how the tide have turned. Funny. The once confident Max Verstappen who thought he had the title won, and the once confident Christian Horner saying, oh, I love winding up Toto, coming here every week to these races, looking at Toto, winding him up. No. It seems like you're getting wound up, Christian Horner. It seems like you're the one who's getting wound up. Toto Wolff looks cool. Toto Wolff knows what to do. He's going to turn the screw slowly. And he's going to squeeze. Squeeze! Squeeze, squeeze, my lemon. And the next race coming up, we've got Jeddah. I'm surprised they're not protesting about the engine or the wing. Now they're saying they got equal speed to Mercedes. If you had equal speed, why didn't you catch up with Lewis Hamilton? You only got within 6 seconds of Lewis Hamilton today. Only because Lewis Hamilton let you. You tried to do the strategy, come into the pit early after doing what, 20 plus laps on the medium tyres? Didn't work. They pitted as well, straight after you. So that plan didn't work. You probably lost 3 seconds doing that. So the strategy didn't work. You shouldn't have picked Perez. That was a mistake. You probably could have got a double podium today. You made that mistake. That's another mistake you made. You can come out in the news and you can come out in front of F1. You can come out in front of all the commentators like Jensen Button. And you can come out in front of Damon Hill and the geek Lazenby. But they can see through you, Christian Horner. They can see straight through you. If the race went right and the race was great and your strategy was great, why was you going to the stewards? Why was you going to the stewards and complaining? Oh yeah, I know what you was complaining about as well. You was complaining about the double yellow. You got a double yellow because Max Verstappen, the stupid ass geek, went through double yellow. When you go through a double yellow, you get a 5-second time penalty. You didn't see Mercedes arguing about it when Bottas got a single yellow and went past 3 places. No. He's just like when Lewis Hamilton has got penalised in the past. You didn't see him moan. You didn't see Mercedes moan, team principal moan. No, but you moan. It's just like when Lando Norris got it, you didn't see McLaren moan. No, they took it on the chin. You didn't see Mercedes moaning, quote unquote. Toto Wolff, take it on the chin. But you moan. That's all you do is moan. Because it's not going your way, you throw your dummies out the pram and you start whining. Because you know why you're whining, Christian Horner? The reason why you're whining is because you know time's up. Time is almost up. You've had your fun. You've had a good little season. Max, the geek, how dangerous he is, he's been lucky this season. You've had your fun, but now it's time for the big boys to take over. Now it's time for mommy and daddy to take over. Your services are no longer needed. It's time for Lewis to come over in the next track, which is going to be Jeddah. It's time for Lewis to come, bounce into Jeddah, and take the lead of the Grand Prix. Very simple. If you think Mercedes were fast here, wait until you get to Jeddah. And you know this. You know this. You was banking on Max Verstappen to try and get a win here. You might have played it down at the beginning of the weekend. But you was hoping that Max Verstappen could get a win here. But it didn't happen. You can all say damage limitation. Yeah, right. That's what people say when they lose, to try and style it. But when you go home tonight and you're sitting and you're lying in your bed with your Spice Girls and you're lying down sleeping in your bed, you're not going to be happy with second place. Let's face it, nobody is happy with second place.
Nope.
You just twist your words too much, Christian Horner. That's all you ever do. Twist your words. You come in and you say, like I said, stewards do a great job. Then you're calling them inept. They should have took the constructor points off you just for you doing that. Because the next time you start mouthing off, then they're going to punish you. If it was me and I was the FIA stewards, I would have punished you today. They've had enough for you, Christian. You've been going into the stewards every single race this season and they are sick of you. Very simple. Now, Bottas. This guy's got bad luck. He has got bad luck. Valtteri Bottas. He had the perfect weekend up to the race start. He was fastest in practice 1, practice 2, second, and coming into practice 3. Qualifying. At the end of qualifying, what did he get? He got a P3. He was in the perfect position on the track. He was on the clean side of the track. And his plan, we all thought that he was going to get the clean start and he was going to get a nice tow after 2 cars in front and try and slot into second place. But it didn't work out. No, it didn't work out. Which we'll talk about in a minute. And then during the race, he gets a blowout. Comes in, does his best, comes back out. Car weren't going anywhere. And then he gets a retirement. What more can this man go through? He's trying to help Lewis. I know he's... I heard some people online saying, oh, nah, they should replace Russell now, the next race. Come on. Let's be realistic. Mercedes are not going to take out Bottas now and bring in Russell. It's not going to happen. He's going to see out his contract and the next year he'll be at Alfa Romeo and then you'll have Russell in the Mercedes. Be careful what you wish for. That's all I'm saying. Let the natural progression happen. Don't force it. So, driver of the day. Driver of the day. What more can I say about this man? What more? People talk about Lewis Hamilton. Well, not people. Jensen Button. He says that Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton are the best drivers to ever step foot in a Formula 1 car. They're forgetting about Nigel Mansell, you're forgetting about Nicky Lauda, you're forgetting about Jackie Stewart, you're forgetting about Vettel, forgetting about Frost, forgetting about Senna, forgetting about Schumacher. Come on. I'm not going to go that way. I'm not going to get into accomplishments. I'm not going to get into their stats. You know the stats, just Google them. But he turns around and says them two are the best two guys on the grid. No, I disagree. I respectfully decline. The two best drivers on the grid is Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. I don't give a shit what you say about Max Verstappen, the stupid dive bomber. He's not a good driver. He is a 100% geek dive bomber. Straight line brain. That's all Max Verstappen is. He ain't got the racecraft. He doesn't know how to get out of small little situations like Alonso. If I was going into battle with a teammate, I'd want Alonso as my teammate. He is in the Alpine and he got that car onto the podium. People are going to say, oh yeah, the safety car saved him at the end. No, it didn't. There was 2 laps to go and Perez was 6 seconds behind. Let's face it, geeks, he would have never caught Alonso. Alonso's crafty. He put his car in that position at the beginning. He ran with the soft tyres and he was on that soft tyres for nearly 30 laps. Maybe a bit more. This guy knows how... Listen, when you become a professional driver, it's not just about going fast. You need to know how to nurse your tyres. You need to know how to be crafty. When to take advantage when it comes. And that's what Alonso's good at. This is why Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, to me, are the 2 best drivers on the grid. You can come on my Twitter and disagree with me and say, oh, nah, it's Max Verstappen. Yeah, right, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, 2 best drivers on the grid. I wouldn't even put Max Verstappen 3rd. No. I would put Charles Leclerc 3rd. Charles Leclerc and Sainz. I wouldn't... They'd be my top 4. Lewis Hamilton, Alonso, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. Them four are the best in the grid, in my opinion. Alonso is a grade A savage. Grade A. And the line of the day has to go down to Alonso when he said to his team radio, he said, Ocon, make sure Ocon defends like a lion.
Savage. Like a lion.
You're not going to see Alonso saying, oh, positivity. You're not going to see Alonso coming out and saying, oh, everybody should be together and do that. Forget that. Alonso's cut from a different cloth. He's cut from the old school. Pull up or shut up. That's what Alonso is. Grit. And he deserved that podium today. He should have got the podium in Russia. To be fair, he should have got the podium in Russia. But the rain saved Max Geek and he got the spot. But it should have been Alonso. Alonso turned up this weekend. Everybody said that he had a big smile all weekend because he knew this track suited the characteristics of his car. He knew. And he says the next track is going to be even better for him. The next track, Jeddah. So I'm looking forward to that. Everybody, that is a Mercedes track 101. So we're going to get into this review. I've got a few notes on here. The results at the bottom of my screen. So let's go.
And it's lights out and away we go!
So, dream start for Max. He got a 5-place group penalty. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, I went through the double yellow lines even though Chris Horner just didn't agree with it. He saw it clearly on the screen. Got a double yellow line, so he's going to get a 5-place group penalty. No way out. So, he had a dream start. Max Verstappen jumped a couple of cars at the beginning. Bottas had a horrendous start. Horrendous. It seems like he tried to pull off in 3rd gear. That's how slow Bottas was. So Bottas was a nightmare, slipping everywhere. He went from 6th place to 11th in the first corner. It was a terrible start. I think Max Verstappen went from 7th to 3rd or 4th in the first lap. So Max Verstappen, he had a brilliant start. Still a geek though. Lewis pulled off. Lovely start from Lewis Hamilton. Gasly tried to catch him in the first corner. Alonso tried to dive bomb Lewis in the first corner, but Gasly blocked him off because Gasly wanted to get in there, but none of them was getting close to Lewis. Lewis Hamilton was untouchable today. Untouchable. You couldn't touch him. He was just nursing his tyres for the entire race. Kimi pits. The first pit of the day was Kimi. He pitted at lap 11. And Lando Norris pitted at lap 12. Gasly, this is what made me laugh. Max Verstappen was behind Gasly. Now, before the race, you saw Helmut Marko talking to AlphaTauri. You knew it was going to happen. Basically, what they were saying is if Max gets behind Gasly, Gasly's got to move over. So basically, Max come behind Gasly. Gasly didn't really move over, but he stalled it. He went wide. He made out he went wide. Look, he went onto the curb and Max passed him. They didn't invert the cars because that was on the same team. They would have probably inverted. They would have come out and said invert the cars. But they're on different teams, but it's still under the Red Bull family. Gasly went wide, and Max Verstappen just sailed past him. People skeptic about this. Crafty said, "Oh, look how we just passed him like that. Don't you think? You think they told him to move over?" And Martin Brundle says, "Oh, I don't know." So basically, we moved on from there. So Max Verstappen was in second place. No, third place by this position. He weren't that far from Alonso. We knew the car he was in. Eventually, he was going to get into second place. So by the first lap, we was looking already at a 1 and 2 again, Lewis and Max. So lap 14, Gasly pits, 2.4 seconds. Lap 15, Bottas makes a move on Sainz into 7th place. So by lap 15, Bottas was making his rounds. He was catching up with the cars. He had a horrible start. But by lap 15, he was starting to come back. So fair play to him, he was in 7th place. So basically, Bono on the radio, he said to Lewis, Max is struggling with his front wing. At the beginning, it looked like there were sparks coming from Max Verstappen's front wing, and it looked like he was struggling. I was thinking to myself, I hope his front wing falls off. That's what I was thinking. I said, come on, get a nice DNF and let's finish the season. That's what I was hoping for. Get your wings to come off, but it didn't happen. So basically, he was losing a bit of time on his wing. I don't know what's wrong with Red Bull's car. For some reason now, his rear wing and his front wing are playing up. Especially his rear wing. But today, it was his front wing playing up. Yesterday, it was his rear wing. So, by this time, Perez pitted. They pitted Perez early. See, the pitted Perez, he got a 2.7 seconds. He was on the medium tires before, but they pitted Perez early, and Perez was not happy. Perez said we shouldn't have we pitted way too early. We should have tried and go for a one-stop. I think Perez wanted to do the one-stop. That was the aim for Perez, but what they did, they changed it at the last minute, and they pitted him early on the medium tires. And even the commentators said it's a bit early for Red Bull, and I agree. So basically, they was telling Bottas on the radio to go long. Said Perez pitted. We want you to go long on the medium tires. So Bottas said, okay, I'll go long. And everything was working perfect for Bottas at this time. All right, he had a horrendous start, but he started to come back. He was making time on the drivers. He was passing everyone. And I thought, you know what? It could be a podium. We still could get. We'll have a Lewis Hamilton, maybe Alonso, or Max Verstappen, and maybe Bottas. One of them are going to be on the podium, so it was still good points for Mercedes. So, lap 24, Alonso pitted. He started off on the soft tyres. Alonso obviously wanted to try and take Lewis in the first corner, but obviously Gasly blocked him. So we put the soft tyres on, so he knew he had to slow his car, but with the soft tyres he might have an advantage. And he went 24 laps on the soft tyres competitively, and that's quite good. So he came into the pits, put 2 points in. You knew that Alonso was going for a one-stop. There's no way Alonso was ever going to go for a two-stop with the car he's got. So he came in a lap 24, put the hard tyres on. It was all okay, 2.7 seconds. And like I said, he had the soft tyres and then he came into the hard tyres. Lap 27, Leclerc slips, locks up, and Alonso takes advantage of it and passes him. That was an amazing pass. You saw Charles Leclerc there. Perez was behind Alonso. And then Charles Leclerc kind of locked up, and then Alonso took advantage of it, went wide, took him past Leclerc, and then Perez was on his back. But still, Alonso kept him behind. Lap 29, Perez and Alonso was both battling. Perez got the better of him, obviously because he's got the better car, but Alonso didn't give up without a fight. Lap 34. He's lucky he weren't that far from the pits. He weren't that far from the pits. He got a puncher and his nose was dragging on the floor. I thought at one time the nose was going to come off. We're going to get debris everywhere and we're going to get a safety car. But he managed to get back. He got back to the pits. He put a new nose on. He came back out, and it was just basically after that he was just trying to claw back again. It was uphill battle from there. There was no way from there that Bottas was going to get onto the podium. It was too far behind, and it was a shame because, like I said, he had a good weekend. He came into this race. He didn't have the best start, but he made the time back. So lap 42, Max pits, 2.1 seconds, puts the medium tyres on. And then lap 43, again, Lewis counters again, comes into the pits and puts the medium tyres on. Used medium tyres, 2.3 seconds. So it was basically Lewis won the race from there. He was like 7-8 seconds. It was 7-8 seconds in front to Max Verstappen. He basically won the race. And lap 50, Lando pits and then retires because he had a puncher. He came in, he had a puncher at the beginning. He came in, put the tyres on, came back out again. And at lap 50, he got a puncher. So that was Lando out of the race. No more, another puncher for McLaren. I think the last race he got, I think it was Daniel Ricciardo who got a puncher or retirement. Now Lando. So basically, the tyres today, you had Nicholas, he had a blowout, retirement. George Russell, he had a blowout. I don't think George Russell retired, but he had a blowout. So we had about 4 punchers today. There was interviewing the Pirelli manager who handles the tyres. Ted Kravitz was talking and saying, look, what's going on with the tyres? It's funny that we had 4 blowouts. And the Pirelli guy said it's probably because it's a circuit, the way the rumble strips are on the side. Because they've never been here before. It's not really been tested. This track is where motorbikes come. This is where the motorbike guys come. No Formula 1 cars really come here, so it hasn't really been tested. But today you could see that the tyres were blowing up. Bottas tyres blew up. And like I said, there's about five punches today. And the Pirelli is saying it's track related. Could be not. Pirelli could just be saying that just to defend themselves, but they said it's probably track related because there's 5 punches. So at the end, Max was trying to claw back some time. He said, come on, let's have a little play with Lewis Hamilton. Let's try and have a little game with him to try and catch him. But he was never going to catch Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was managing his tyres for basically the entire race. There was no way he was going to catch him. Lewis Hamilton, at the end, finally, passed the checkered flags. Max Verstappen got second. And third place was Alonso. I think there was a couple laps left, and I thought, Alonso's got this. Then the safety car come out. When the safety car come out, it was, I think it was a virtual safety car, not a full safety car. They was trying to clear a car into the pit area. And I knew then Alonso would win it. I was so happy for Alonso. So happy. He deserved this podium. It's the first podium since Hungary, I think 2014, that he got a podium. And he deserved it, and he was so happy. Alonso said himself, this means a lot to him. Of course it means a lot to him. He said, this is the journey complete, me getting a podium. His journey back to Formula 1. He's had an amazing season. I think that Alonso should get driver of the year. Never mind driver of the day. He should get driver of the year. This guy has come back to Formula 1 where the majority of the drivers, not the drivers, but the fans, but who gives a fuck about the geeks? The majority of the guys on the online, whatever, they pick the pundits, the journalists, ripped this guy off. They said, nah, he's too old, he's been out too long. He was only out for 2 years. Schumacher weren't the same when he come back. Schumacher left. He left for nearly 4 years. And he wasn't actively racing. He was skiing, he was having a good time, he was going on talk shows. He wasn't actively racing like Alonso was. And when Alonso left Formula 1, he was younger than Schumacher was. Alonso was racing, he was in professional races, Le Mans. He was in proper races, so he was keeping himself sharp. And the guy was only out for 2 years. Because of his age, everybody writ him off. And now he's come back and proved his points. If there's going to be a driver of the year, I will give it to Alonso. Standard. And that's it, man. That's the end of the review, man. So we're off to Jeddah. We've got 2 weeks off. This is the end of the triple header. Triple header over. In the bag, in the history books. And I can't wait for Jeddah. Mercedes are the clear favourites. There you go. Max on his balls. So, yeah. This is the end of the triple header. And, yeah. They've got to be the clear. They are the clear favourites. They got the straight line speed. Toto come out and said we're going to be using the engine from Brazil in Lewis's car. Nice spicy engine. Spicy. Big sneaky grin on his face. Toto knows what he's doing. He's going to use that spicy engine. The one that they used in Brazil. At Jeddah. Perfect for Jeddah. Straight line speed. And Hamilton, even Jenson Button said Hamilton looks calm. And when Hamilton's calm, that's the dangerous Hamilton, when he's settled and he's ready to go. He knows what he's doing. Lewis Hamilton has been here so many times. Max has never been here. This is new territory for Max, and I don't care how much he says that he's confident. That racing is simple. You know he's feeling the pressure. Them last 2 races, the pressure is going to be on him. Because if Max Verstappen ever makes one mistake, he knows the season is over. Same with Lewis. He knows if he makes any mistakes, the season's over. On to Jeddah. Jeddah, here we come. Straight line speed, Mercedes. Tailor-made for Mercedes. And that's it. So, this is the end of the review. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. Can't wait. I cannot wait. We're nearly there, guys and girls. Nearly there. 4 years of grit and hard work. And I'll continue for more years to come. And that's it. And check out all my links will be in the descriptions below. My Twitch channel, I stream on Twitch. I'm active on Twitter. So you want to talk to me on Twitter, come and drop me a tweet, man. We're going to talk about Formula 1. I will respond. And that's it. This is all up here once on that. Thank you very much, guys. Alonso, the motherfucking savage. Bye.